Good morning. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Hope you're doing well. Good morning. It's Saturday morning. It is 5:46 a.m. and this is episode 187. And it's a Saturday, so it's kind of like quiet, but I get to do a little coffee making business today. Something just always applying what get into real life and see what's going on in these businesses. Anyway, this is 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. We talk about Agile and Scrum in a practical way. I'm Greg Mester, Agile Coach and Scrum Master. And I really hope you're doing well today and that you have a good Friday there. You can see my power surge protector that the boy brought in so he can charge his iPad while he's sitting there. Anyway, it's a weekend. Got to do stuff. And got two things for you today. One, talk about when I did a coaching engagement the other day, and kind of coach sometimes a little different, try to get an understanding. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how that went. It was an interesting conversation, and then to know whether or not your organization is really agile or managers are really agile. What do they first tell you when they get a new project coming on? What's the first question? What's the first question to doing a new project? And it's a good telltale sign of how agile and how forward-thinking an organization is. And I'm just going to share an experience I had the other day and kind of talk to them, let you all tell me what you think and what you experience. But now also, I got this on the intro picture. And this is, so I started the robotics class. My wife helped me out the other day. She helped kick it off. And I gave her the ideas, like, first, let's figure out what the rules are and then what the goals and purposes. Tomorrow I'll share the goals and purposes. Today I just want to share the rules. Just like Agile and Scrum, when you have a group, a meeting, when you facilitate, you want to set up some team rules, team norms. So the kids who are 5th grade to 8th grade, so they're younger, they set up their own rules and norms. And why people and adults can't do this and fight against this is amazing, but I can get some kids to do it, right? So this is kind of be respectful of others and materials. Don't break stuff. Pay attention. Don't run around or play with phones. Clean up 5 minutes prior to the end of the thing. 3 warnings. You have to apologize to the group. So if you're not following the norms and you get 3 warnings, if you still want to be a member of the group, you have to apologize. If it keeps happening, group votes on whether or not you stay in the group. So this is a self-forming group and some rules and some results. And some of the kids have been there a few times. And we actually stopped the robotics club because people were getting out of hand. And I'm like, if you're not going to pay attention, then I ain't doing this. And they learn, right? The ones that want to do it and have some fun, hopefully are maturing a little bit and they figure this out. But they write their own rules. And it's not me as the coach, I use the microphone, telling them what the rules are, nor an adult. And there's no reason why they can't do it. And again, these kids, the last time we did it, we built 3 little underwater robots in 10 hours because we had 10 sessions, 1 hour apiece, 10 hours, built 3 robots, competed. They won a couple races and things like that. So, it's amazing what you can do in just 10 hours if you set some boundaries. So I wanted to share that with you just as a little side note. Any group should be setting up team norms and how you want to operate together and some rules. It doesn't have to be elaborate. We did all that in one session, and they still had time to organize the Legos for the robotics because the containers of Legos were kind of like all over the place. So they did that in maybe 15, 20 minutes. If 20 minutes worse, and there's goals on the other side. So 20 minutes max. By the time I got there, it was all done. And then we started organizing robots. So something to think about. There's no reason why your team can't have goals, and are you meeting them, or rules how you want to operate, and you need to adjust them as time. So I just wanted to share that with you, something new, something out of the norm. That's not just office, but it's also a group of kids doing this kind of thing. because I'm a firm believer that kids could really benefit from Agile and probably do Agile better than adults because they don't have a lot of preconceived notions. So my coaching engagement the other day had a colleague who came up to me one day and says, "Greg, I need 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. I am so far underwater. I need your help." And I'm like, I was conflicted, right? I was great. It felt great that he realizes like I probably could help him and he needed help. And it was a compliment that it came to me out of the blue. I felt bad that he was in that position, so there was conflict. Great. I said, I can help you, and you're coming to help me, and you give me a lot of kudos, an ego boost or whatever you want to call it. But the bad thing is, like, why'd you get this far? I feel bad. Very bad you're in this spot. You shouldn't need this. I mean, even when you're in a good spot, it's always good to practice, right? Because you want to stay high. You want to come down. You want to stay up at the high level performance. So we spent an hour first engagement and just went through all this stuff going on. I know you want to hear what's going on. You don't want to assume you know everything and that's going on. And I just wanted him to tell me all the stuff he was working on, what was his big hangups, what he wanted to achieve, what was stressing him out, and be really honest. And why you really got to get down deep to what's honest. It'll take a couple sessions. Is it money? Is it time? Is it what? What's really eating them? And then, but that first session, so I got a little high level view. And then the biggest thing he needed to do is prioritize. He had too many things going on. He couldn't prioritize, didn't know what was going on. And we just try to establish a way of ranking some initial priorities so this weekend he can kind of dig through some of that and get a couple things off his plate. And the way I coach is a lot of times people are just way underwater, right? Too much stuff going on. And I just try to free up a little bit of time, not radically change everything, but get a couple things off the plate, get the stress down a little bit, find some space for me now to coach and for them to be able to absorb what I'm doing to help with them. Because if they're totally maxed out, they're not going to be able to absorb any of the ideas or thoughts or do the critical thinking needed to get them to start becoming a high performing person, high performing team. So you want to help get rid of some stuff off their plate. Like if they have meetings, get rid of some of those meetings. Free up an hour. Then in that hour, take a half hour and work on improvement, right? Trade. Get a half hour back to getting other things done on their plate. Take a half hour and work on the improvement. That's how you get there. You can't just, it'd be great if you can radically could do it. It means they stop making money, stop doing everything. That ain't going to happen, right? So you need to find a way of, let's prioritize. So we did a prioritization, figured out what he had action to do, transformed a little bit. So even though he's working in the Agile world, his group hasn't been coached right. I thought was interesting. We reversed it, and maybe we'll do a session on that on one of his clients and how I handled that, where the client was kind of telling him, well, tell me what you can do. And in the Agile world, we go, you as a client, tell me what you'd like, and I'll tell you what I can do, right? Or what I can achieve in that much money and that much time, and here's how long it'll take, and then we can work out what would you like to do. First, I'll just create something. No, I want you to take some time and tell me what you would like, and then we'll get there, right? So we'll talk about that on another episode, how we decompose, how to handle that issue. But I just want to share with you just the way I coach is I know they're underwater. I know their brain is maxed out. I try to free up some time so they can absorb and think about what we're going to discuss on making them a high performing team versus a low performing team or even failure, right? And if you are high performing, we still find ways of getting more out of that time you have available. And we want to keep you up there, right? We don't want you to fall down. We want to keep you up there, right? So that was just one experience of just talking about how I try to clean out their backlog. prioritize a little bit, find out what their priorities are, what they really want to work, and try to get them thinking that way. What are my most important things? So that was that coaching experience. The other thing I talk about is establishing how agile your company is and how the managers are. I had a question the other day. I was curious, and I hear it a lot. Place I'm at now currently, every time they get work, the immediate answer, boom, is hire more staff. I'm like, whoa, why are you hiring more staff? And your answer is always hire more staff. And then they ain't necessarily going to help you because it may take 6 months the way they operate for your staff to get up to speed to even give you any help. So is that really going to solve your problem? Because are you delivering that stuff now? Or are you delivering it a year from now, right? If it's going to take a while for the staff to get up to speed, you're not going to get any performance. You're going to lose performance, and that's another topic. But how to establish so right away, the managers are like, well, let's check and make sure we have enough resources to do the job, and do we need to hire more resources? That's not agile thinking. That is a resource model thinking. What you really want to see from managers at some point in time is that, are we improving performance in a way that we can handle the new work, right? How is our process improvement going? Are we improving how we do and how much are we doing? Are we really in a rhythm that we can slide this in? Is there any other priorities we can switch around? So it's a different question for managers to ask the teams and the organizations. If you have an organization that their first answer is hire more staff, check the capacity of the staff, that is an old way of thinking. So I just wanted to share that with you, something that just clicks where, sometimes ask the question, hey, if we got, business wants to increase performance or increase sales by 50%, are we ready to handle a 50% increase in sales? Are we growing enough that 6 months from now, we should be doing 50% more work or have more capacity, right? Can we handle the delta and maintaining our old stuff that we built and bringing in some new stuff that we're going to have to maintain and improve on? Do we have our system set up that way? So anyway, just want to bring that, like I said, the first answer is about, well, do we have the resources? Do we need to hire more staff? And if that's the first answer to organization, tells your organization is not very agile and not thinking about growth in the future, right? Anyway, that's it. It's Saturday. I'm going to go make coffee today and go work in a coffee shop for a little bit this morning, help out a colleague of mine. And happy weekend. Happy scrumming. Ring the little bell. Give us a thumbs up if you like the show. Share with your friends. Later on today, I'll put some more stuff out and we'll see how it's going. And you have an awesome day. Take care. Bye.